All right, good morning. So last night I actually ended up hiking until about 1 a.m. So I got a lot of miles in, pretty late night, but really happy that I hiked that late because I was feeling good. You know, I'd rested at that last water source for a while and felt good to hike late in the night. And yeah, it was nice and peaceful and good temperatures for hiking. So I'm glad I got those miles in the evening. And this morning I got up just before sunrise really, so only on about 4.5 hours of sleep, which is probably not ideal, but hoping to do another big day. So hopefully it's not as windy as it was yesterday. I'm hoping it's just a light breeze, because without any wind it will be really hot. But yeah, the wind yesterday was just too much. It was crazy wind. So yeah, anyway, we'll see how it goes today. And feeling good actually, so hopefully can get lots of miles in again. Cruisy. Also last night the coyotes were going absolutely mental. I assume they were coyotes. They were just going crazy all night. Well, guess not all night, but especially the early morning hours, they were just going completely mental. It was quite funny. I assume they're coyotes. They kind of sound like how I imagine hyenas would sound or something. Like sometimes sounded kind of like a laughing noise, but like a weird, deranged, manic laughing noise. So yeah, it was quite funny this morning. Probably like 4 a.m. maybe or something, that they were like at their peak, just going completely mental for a while. I've also seen a lot of pronghorn. I think they're pronghorn. They're like kind of deer-like animals, and or maybe certain type of deer. I don't really know what they are, but I think they're called pronghorn, and they were the same things in New Mexico at the beginning, near the border with Mexico. I think I actually saw a couple pronghorn chasing a coyote, which was quite funny. It was kind of far off, but it looked like they were chasing a coyote. But yeah, it's funny being back in the desert. It really feels very similar to parts of New Mexico, especially the beginning of New Mexico. It's kind of bizarre, like going through Colorado, obviously big mountains and lots of great running water sources, fresh water everywhere. And yeah, just suddenly I'm in this flat, dry desert. It's kind of bizarre. Feels like I was teleported back to New Mexico. I find it very strange that there's this random desert just right in the middle of the Rocky Mountains, because you know, Colorado is mountains. Suddenly you're in the desert, and very soon I'll be in the Wind River Range back in the mountains, and it'll basically be mountains until Canada, I'm pretty sure. So it's kind of bizarre that there's this desert here. But it's also really cool. I'm glad there's a desert here. It's a nice kind of change of pace, kind of like a little intermission in the middle of the CDT, and it's cool to get one last taste of the desert before I head back into the mountains. I really like the fact that I'm back in the desert because, like I've said before, I really enjoy the desert hiking. I enjoy the kind of barren landscape and the sort of brutality of it. It's quite interesting. Actually a surprisingly good water source here. Lots and lots of water. Alright, so there hasn't been much wind today. There's been a lot of times where there's just no wind at all. Right now there's a bit of a breeze, which is nice, but it's been really hot. It's been really, really hot. So I still think it's actually better than the crazy strong wind yesterday though, because the air was still hot and the sun was beating down on me, and yesterday was exhausting with the wind. But yeah, anyway, today's been really hot and there's been no cloud cover and pretty much no shade all day. So the last water source that I got to, there was some bigger, like, I guess they were sage bushes, but they were just about big enough to get a little bit of shade, not full shade. But I spent a long time at that water source. I really had to. I've been really good with staying hydrated today. I've drank a lot of water so far, but I just feel so exhausted from being in the sun all day and trying to hike through just this blistering heat. So I'm actually, yeah, really exhausted. Took a long time at that water source, drank like 2 liters while I was there and just sat in the shade for a bit. There's also been quite a lot of horseflies. Most of the time there aren't many, but at that water source, I guess because a lot of cows hang out there as well, there were loads of horseflies, which was really annoying as well. So anyway, I think tonight, again, I'm going to try and do a lot of miles in the nighttime because, again, just haven't been able to do the kind of mileage that I hoped I might be able to do. I figured this would be the case though. I kind of knew that the desert is no joke. It's really hot out here and there's just like full like sun exposure, no clouds. So anyway, tonight I'm going to do lots of miles in the dark under the stars.